Hey guys, so I just came home from walking Henry. So we walk twice a day. It's really good for him because it gets all of his energy out. Right now, I don't think you can see, maybe he's like attacking Claire. Oh my gosh. Wow, okay. What are you guys doing? And then Pumpkin's just wanting food. Do you want some food, Iz? We just fed you, Mr. Pumpkin. I just fed as you, Bisters. I just fed as you. Anyways, so like I said, I just came from a walk. Sorry that the background is messy and I also have sweaty armpits. But I kind of thought that this would be a fun idea. For those of you that don't know, my birthday, my 25th birthday, is July 24th, this Tuesday. And this weekend I'm going back to Georgia and I'm going to be hanging out with friends and kind of, not really celebrating my birthday, just kind of meeting up with people. And it's kind of an excuse because it's right near my birthday, so I should go to Georgia. Anyways, I want to talk about INFJs at parties, or at least from my experience as an INFJ. So this really can be, I think for INFJs it can come out different ways. So for me, when I'm going, if I don't know the people that I'm going to, like, their party, if I don't know like the people that are going, all that stuff, I tend to be more shy. I tend to kind of keep to myself and just watch people. That's kind of like what my initial thing is. Introduce myself to people, but mostly like watch and interact with people, talk in small groups. But if it's with people that I know or friends, I tend to be basically kind of the opposite of that. I still speak in small groups and stuff, but I really love a group dynamic where the energy levels are the same. So I want everybody to be having a good time. I want everyone to be kind of in this positive atmosphere. And that's what I really like from party dynamics. And because of that, I, in the past, have tended to throw a lot of my own parties. And I've talked about this before, but I used to invite just like random people too. It was mostly like people I knew and friends, but sometimes it would be like over 100 people in my like apartment. And a lot of people would think that's crazy. It is. But I really like bringing people together. I really like people to meet people and interact with one another. And in fact, when I did Model United Nations, and I think this kind of goes into the whole party thing, there were these things called socials. And if you don't know what Model UN is, I've talked about it a little bit in other videos. It's basically a simulation of the United Nations. So basically you represent a country, or you're like a director or assistant director, and so on and so forth, and you compete in a conference. And a lot of the conferences that I went to, like in Europe, there were socials every night. So this would be like at a club, or it might just be at the university that's hosting it. But if you have ever gone to a Model UN event with me, 9 times out of 10, I typically am the first person or one of the first people on the dance floor. And this might be shocking to some people, like especially like that knew me in high school or pre-college, because I was very shy and that would not be me. Well, kind of actually, because at like, let's say homecoming or prom and stuff like that, I really just didn't care what other people thought of me. I wasn't out there grinding with guys. In fact, I don't think I've ever done that before. Even when I've been in a relationship, I've never done that. Like, in public. I'm not really into that kind of thing. But beside the point, I just like really having fun with people, and I think INFJs are kind of like that because of extroverted feeling. ENFJs are a lot like this as well. ENFJs do tend to host parties, and they're a little bit better at like getting the dynamics, having the dynamics be on the same level, like I was saying with the energy level and stuff like that. But anyways, in these socials, there were times where I would get like, at the socials, I would get like a superlative that would be like, best dancer, or biggest party animal, or something like that. And I never took like dancing seriously like when I went out there. My main objective was to be as crazy as possible to get other people to dance, and it almost always worked. And that's the most fun for me. I love being somewhere where everybody's included, everybody's having a good time. And going back to the parties that I host, I know a lot of INFJs don't host parties, or they kind of don't like going to parties, but I've come to the point where, like I said, I used to invite just random people as well. It was majority friends, majority people I knew, but sometimes it was acquaintances. And I realized over the years that even though I did like having people, meet other people, all that stuff, I felt most fulfilled at the parties where it was good friends, or just at least like friends that I knew truly cared about me and I truly cared about them. That was something that's kind of the point where I am now. And before, when I would just kind of invite people, so oftentimes I would kind of be like a little bit like a Great Gatsby character, like in the sense that I would invite all types of people to my parties or whatever, and then oftentimes I would just be in my room, or I would still be getting ready when people were showing up, which, by the way, if you've ever come to my party early, like before the time, or if you just, I don't know, like, that's one of my things, is I don't like when people show up early unless they're like a friend that I asked, or like a family member, just because, and no offense to anybody that has done that to me or other people, but I was still getting ready. But anyways, so during the party, because I am an introvert, even though I can be very extroverted, I can be out there with people, I many times would go into my room and people would be like, where did Emily go? I can't find Emily, where'd she go? And then like people would kind of catch on that I was in my room. And actually it got to a point, this was like 3 or 4 years ago, but it got to a point one time at a party, and this was one of the bigger parties. I had a fairly big room in this apartment, but it definitely wasn't big enough for this. So I did one of my famous like sneakaways where I was like hiding in my room with Pumpkin and just like maybe 1 or 2 other people in there, and then all of a sudden people just started kind of catching on that like we were kind of in my room. And also it didn't help because the restroom that everybody was using was my restroom, and it was in my room, like connected to my room, so people had to go through my room to get to the restroom. And if you were there at that party, I know one of my friends that may be watching this, he was actually the bouncer of the bathroom, which was really funny. But there's over 30 people in my room, and we were all playing Cards Against Humanity, and it was super fun, and we were sitting on the ground. And then there were still like tons of people outside, like either outside of like actual outside or just in the apartment somewhere. And I find that really fun, but like I said, now I've come to the point where it's really a select group of people that I invite to things. Like this weekend, I didn't invite as many people as I have in the past because either I would invite people that I wanted to come, and I just noticed that over time they just never would come to things, so I kind of stopped inviting them. Or I just really have focused on the people that I know that I really want to be there. And I'm not saying I don't want other people to be there, it's just, it's a really good group of people. And last time I kind of had a get-together here, I had a few get-togethers in Seattle, but the last time I had like a really fun get-together was in December when I came back to visit. And we all met up at like a bubble tea place, my friends, and then we came back to my old apartment where my sister was still living with one of my friends that was her roommate. And we just played What Do You Meme, and before that we were like searching for the game, and we like went through Walmart and we were just being silly and taking photos, just acting like we were little kids or teenagers. And then we went to Target looking for What Do You Meme. And if you haven't played What Do You Meme, you should play it. If you like memes, it's really fun. It's kind of like Cards Against Humanity if you've ever played Cards Against Humanity. If you haven't played Cards Against Humanity, it's like Apples to Apples. And if you haven't played Apples to Apples, what are you doing with your life? But anyways, I know that this video is kind of dark because the sun is almost setting, and yeah, it was just kind of an impromptu video. I'm just trying to keep the videos flowing. And yeah, if you tell me what your experience is with parties, and if you are an INFJ, if you kind of can relate to this. It kind of took me a while to be this social. I've always liked having people together, like birthday parties and stuff, but this wasn't kind of a thing that just happened overnight. It was something, again, talked about this so many times, but in college I really pushed myself to be very social and outgoing. But yeah, it's, for the most part, it's been a very beneficial thing. And I also want to say this, at my parties at least, I never allowed, you know, illegal substances, and I don't really, I mean, there has been times, there is a very notable party where I did get drunk, a little bit more than drunk, but it was one of my past birthdays. But other than that, I don't even really drink, especially now. And it's just kind of fun. We don't need that kind of stuff. I mean, people do drink if they want to, if they're of age, and it's just really a time to get to know each other more and just have fun. Just, I don't know. If you know me in real life, you know how crazy I can be, and Danielle, if you're watching this, or Chaz, or anybody out there, Travis, you know how much I like playing Paranoia on an IFE, but I literally, Bradley, Richard, everybody, if I didn't say your name, obviously I'm not like intentionally forgetting you, I'm just calling out certain people. But yeah, so I hope you guys have a good night. And hopefully tomorrow I'm going to be interviewing my sister at night, which will be pretty cool. So if you have any questions to ask my sister, she doesn't really want to answer super personal questions, but if you have any questions for her, leave them in the comments below and I'll try to answer them. Or I'll try to ask them to her or see what she thinks. I'm kind of going to ask her stuff like, you know, she's really into art and other stuff like that, and kind of how it was like growing up with me and kind of her experience and stuff like that with her own life, without getting too personal. But yeah, and if you want to be interviewed, as you have seen, it's been a keeping the train going with the interviews, because I find them really insightful, and I love connecting with people. But yeah, so I hope you guys are having a phenomenal night. Also, by the way, I just got a job and I'm pretty excited about it. Anyways, it's my first like real big girl job, and it could be like a long-term career choice, and I'm really, really excited. But anyways, have a great day. Bye.